Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Got a great question in here from Cameron Hutchinson. He says, "Hey Art of the Image, I find your videos very interesting and helpful. That's why I'm here to ask you about the Sigma 18-35 f1.8 OS. I personally don't have too much of an understanding on what this lens compares to. I heard mostly good reviews about this lens, but I feel I would have a better understanding coming from you. It would be greatly appreciated if you can do a review comparison with this lens because I would love to hear your perspective on this lens. Also, do you think I should get a Sigma 17-50 f2.8 or the Sigma 18-35 f1.8 in general? I am doing street and landscape photography mostly in San Francisco, and also which lens in terms of its value is better, like for the price, which one is offering more to the table. I don't have any other lenses besides an 18-55 VR2, and I am on a bit of a budget and I'm willing to pay around $600. I'm also perfectly happy if you recommend any other lens as long as it's around the $600 price range. If it doesn't have to be just one lens, it can add up to around $600. I came to you because I think you know a lot in this sort of situation. Love your videos and thanks so much for your time. Oh, and sorry if I'm asking too many questions. Never too many questions. Anyways, Cameron, let's frame the lens up for you. Sigma 18-35 f1.8 is basically a very fast, very unique in that sense lens because it's a zoom lens that has an f1.8 constant aperture. And what that means is it can go all the way to f1.8, which is typically only something you can get with a prime. So it allows you to open up your aperture very wide, get a lot of light in, and also not only light capturing abilities, it allows you to control your depth of field for bokeh and whatnot. So you can get those out of focus backgrounds, and the lens itself delivers a nice bokeh. The bokeh is the actual out of focus area, what those out of focus pixels, if you will, look like. So it's very unique because there's not really anything else on the market, a zoom, that can go that fast, and that's why it's unique and a little pricier than, say, the f2.8, the Sigma 17-50 f2.8, or any of the other f2.8 zooms or whatnot. You're basically getting all the goodness for speed and out of focus, the depth of field, the background, being able to blow that out of focus in a portrait or whatnot, that you would from a prime, except you're getting it in a zoom. So you've got an 18 all the way to 35 that gives you f1.8. Now, 35 on an APS-C sensor, on a crop sensor, brings you closer to 50, right? In terms of field of view in 35 millimeter terms. So I'm not sure the light gathering ability is of intense value, but I'm not sure for me that lens, and that's probably why I haven't bought it. So I can't give you a direct hands-on comparison because I haven't shot that lens. I haven't bought it. I just know a lot of people really like it. Some people have had issues with it, but for me, I've had and owned the 17-50 f2.8. Loved it. I've had it on Nikons. I've had it on Canons, and that Sigma is a very sharp lens. The f2.8 is your standard fastest aperture zoom. Until that 18-35 f1.8 came out, there was nothing faster in a zoom than an f2.8. So that's a great lens. I shot lots of weddings with it. I've done lots of portraits with it, lots of events, and the 50 gives you an effective 75, which is very close to an 85 portrait lens, which a lot of us, that's the standard lens over the years that people just really have gone to for portraits and they like it. So the 17-50 is very versatile range. The 18-35, not so much. It's not quite as wide, and it's definitely not as long. You're basically buying that lens for the speed. You can still get your background out of focus quite nicely at f2.8. Not as good as at f1.8, but still, especially at 50 millimeters, you're going to get it probably as good as if at 35, because the wider it is, the less out of focus your background is. In other words, the more in focus the focus range is. I hope this is making sense to you if you don't have sometimes people that are newer to photography don't have a great grasp on why the lower aperture, the wider aperture, if you want to call it that, gives us that out of focus range. What we're talking about, that when we're at f1.8 and we shoot and we get our subject in focus, we can blur out the background behind them and get that portrait look. That's why we want to do that. It focuses the attention on our subject. So that's the main advantage of that 18-35, I think, is the light gathering ability. Probably less so than the ability to blow out your backgrounds, because at 35 even, it's not the same as at 50. The longer the lens, the more you see that difference in the out of focus backgrounds. So I might actually, in this situation, steer you more towards the Sigma 17-50 f2.8. It's a great lens. You can get it for less money, and I think it might serve you better as an all-around lens. The fact that you're doing street photography, you may like the faster 18-35 f1.8. That's a possibility. and that's why you might want to still consider it. But be aware that you're paying the premium, you're getting the shorter range of zoom, but you're getting a faster lens. So that's why you're paying that more money for that lens. They're both very good lenses, but I think you could do good street photography as well with the 17 to 50 f2.8. And you could even get the 17 to 50 f2.8 and add a prime to it. So you could get, for instance, the Nikon 35mm f1.8, or you could get, I believe Canon has a 28mm f1.8 as well, if memory serves there. I haven't looked at that lens in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And you could probably do both of those for the price of the 18 to 35, which may serve you better. So that's probably where I would steer you to, is the 17 to 50 f2.8 zoom, the OS from Sigma. Gives you the longer range, f2.8 still a constant aperture f2.8, and then if you want to add a fast prime, you can add one, especially if you pick these up used or refurbed, so that you'd have both of those for as much money or less than the 18 to 35 f1.8. What do you guys think? Do you agree with what I'm saying here? Would your recommendations be the same? Do you disagree? Would you say wholeheartedly to go to the 18 to 35 f1.8 or something else? Is there something else you would recommend to Cameron? Let us know in the comments below. Let's help Cameron out. Thanks for your question, Cameron. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.